Folks, welcome to a Level-Headed Marketing episode. Myself, Doc Sheldon, Gabriella. We're hosting a hangout today with somebody who needs very little introduction, Bill Slawski. He is the preeminent authority on Google patent interpretation, and not just Google. He also deals with other search engines. But basically, if you're interested in where patents indicate we may or may not be headed in internet marketing or the SEO world, you've probably seen some stuff already from Bill. He's been my go-to for several years because I just don't have the patience for it. As an attorney himself, he's got the patience for it. He's got the ability to read between the lines. And he also has a lot more SEO practice under his belt than I think a lot of people realize. He's not just a patent geek. He's also an SEO and very knowledgeable in that area. So, Bill, welcome to Level-Headed Marketing. What we hope to hear from you today is your impressions of where the internet really is. What is it capable of doing today, and what do you think we may be seeing in the future? So, take it away, William.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's a tough question answering what the internet is today because it's a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and it's moving in a lot of directions all at the same time. As William Gibson said at one point, the future is all around us. It's just not evenly distributed. So we look at things like Google Now, and there have been a number of patents. There's been at least one or two that describe what Google Now is. Apple purchased Siri a few years ago, and it's been flashed all over TV screens as a personal assistant, helping people out. Google Now does that as well, but it relies a lot more upon predictive algorithms. It tries to figure out what information you need when you need it. And that's one of the directions I see search or the internet heading in, providing us with answers to our informational and situational needs, looking at things like our calendars, our email, and the things that we search for on the web. So Google Now will warn you 10 minutes before the Hangout starts that there's a Hangout starting, right? It'll notice that you like to look at pages about the local baseball team, and it'll give you information about scores for the team and the schedule and things like that. It may use location-based services to find out that you like to go to a particular coffee house in the morning and present you with an advertisement for a different nearby coffee house as an alternative, someplace else you could maybe go. So there's a personal assistant element to the web that's growing, that can be seen as something, a direction that something like Google Now is moving in. And interesting thing about applications like Google Now that tend to be targeted more towards mobile users is that they seem at least like a proof of concept towards development for something like Google Glass. Mm-hmm. So, Google Glass, we can use things like Google Now. Google's published a number of patents that talk about, and they acquired a number of patents that talk about indoor mapping and how they can bounce signals off of GPS, which doesn't work well indoors. Inside and mathematically use things like the microelectronic sensors in your phone, not just the GPS sensor, but Bluetooth sensors which ping signals out every once in a while to see what else is nearby. including other people's phones. So Google might know when you're near somebody else who has a phone, when you're in close physical proximity to them. It can look at the gyroscope on your phone. More and more sensors are being built into phones. The latest Galaxy 4 from Samsung has temperature sensors in it, pressure sensors, and they're actually weather stations where you have lots of devices that can report on aspects of weather. So instead of having weather stations that are 10 miles, 15 miles apart, you've got them all over the place, which transforms the way that weather might be reported. We get down to a lot finer level of granularity. Sensors are being used in traffic estimates, in finding out when there's congestion, in seeing when something's being routed around, whether it's a protest, a street festival, roads closed for one reason or another, which sort of goes into a different aspect of the web. And that's something we saw a lot with when Google had real-time search, which is the web is a real-time, real-world monitoring tool. You know, I lived through a earthquake here in Virginia that was centered about 60 miles south of me, and I had a can of beans fall off my shelf. That's about the extent of the damages. But it sounded like somebody was running across my roof. So I got up to go see what was happening outside, and everything started shaking. So I sat back down and I tweeted, "Anybody else feeling the ground shaking beneath their feet?" My first impulse was share it on social media. And
just don't mean to interrupt, but just I'm curious, what social network did you share that with?
I tweeted it.
Did you? Okay.
It's an ideal network for that type of message.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So the web is a real-time monitoring device. You go do a search. When Google had real-time search, you could find out what was going on in different places in the world faster than you can learn on the news. And you know, the newspaper gets less and less satisfying every day because I start reading it and it feels like it's yesterday's news because I learned about it yesterday.
Yeah, that's funny because I have always signed up for an awful lot of email news bulletins, and so often I find that I'm getting things hot off the press this morning that we were discussing yesterday morning, yesterday midday, on Twitter and Facebook, and even in Peep's paper LI that I received, taking me to 2 or 3 online posts about the topic, and yet CNN is trying to scoop everybody with it 20 hours later. And I think that's an important point. Twitter, and we saw this in several of the Middle East upheavals. Twitter is really the real-time social media platform. It's the one area in which it is really real time, and you can see what's happening. It may be somebody's video they've uploaded from their smartphone. It may just be a comment, but it's not like Facebook where if you happen to wander over there, you may find something on it. If you're following Twitter, bam, it could be seconds after it happens. So you going on there and say, "Did anybody else feel that quake?" You may have just been literally seconds after the geodesic report.
Right. A couple years back, and I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but a couple years back, the BBC included within a sidebar, send us your news, send us your videos, send us your pictures. Know something that's happening that we're not aware of. Let us know. And I thought that was really, really bright that they wanted in on that conversation. and that they were distributing reporting.
Well, I mean, it makes business sense. Think about it. You don't have journalists in every parts of the world, in every pocket. So why not tap into, social, if you will, the world, because they're willing, whether it's ego, whether it's because they're concerned citizens, or whatever. It's an amazing way to actually connect and communicate with the community, which boils down to what everybody's trying to do, is build a community.
Right, and I'm wondering whether or not Jeff Bezos is going to bring that awareness or sensibility to the Washington Post. I live about 50 miles west of Washington, D.C., so whether I like it or not, the Washington Post is the only local paper that covers a broad range of topics. The community papers around me only cover the counties they're in.
Right.
So if I relied upon them, I'd know very little about the world. But the Washington Post has a pull-out section called Metro, which really only covers the cities and areas that are connected to the subway around the city. And they really, I'm just outside of that. So they don't report on my county. So we don't have a whole lot of newsworthy things going on in my county, but we have enough to keep a local paper publishing a couple times a week. So I'm interested in seeing if he starts personalizing the paper a little bit more than it is. If there ends up being like a Virginia edition of that pullout or a Maryland edition, I'd like to see it.
Have any of those discussions happened? Because since he's bought it, I haven't heard or read any news of direction or what's happening with that. Just that he bought it, and he bought it at 1% of what it was worth, and blah blah blah. But no real outlook. Where they're going.
As far as I've seen, those discussions haven't taken place yet.
Yeah.
And it's business as usual, which means when they include a insert in the post that's local, it's not. Most of the stories are generic type stories about how to help your garden grow better, or things like that, and there may be one or two or three things that do focus upon somewhere in Virginia, somewhere that tends to be closer to D.C. Another place, and I can't read my own handwriting, which
I have that problem myself.
Why are we not surprised? I think we all have that problem.
I scribbled those notes really quickly. Okay, so one of the basic paradigms that we see from Google is it acts as a library. It acts as a librarian, a reference librarian. It helps you find other pages that have the information that you contain. That those other websites contain. But reference librarians will also answer questions. They'll also answer things that they may know without referring you to a specific book. And we're seeing Google move in that direction with knowledge base answers. And at Google event earlier this year, when they introduced Google Now, they talked about how the knowledge base was at about 1% of what it might be in the future. Google's provided Q&A answers for a long time. They got patents on that back in 2003. Sergey Brin wrote a white paper in 1997 about how you could include information within a database about specific books, titles, authors, publishers, and use that information to find other sites on the web that contain that kind of information. extract that type of information, build your database up bigger, and keep on going around the web looking for more things that might contain those types of things.